takes it on stage. Sri Lanka, Turkey, UK and USA, and local guests, participants from ministries and renowned organizations, institutions of Bangladesh for attending this maiden international conference on information and knowledge management.
Conveying felicitations to the faculty of the bpatc, East West University, invited guests, pupils of East West University, personnel of media, for enhancing the significance of the program and for becoming part of this remarkable international program.
Then Miss Charmaine Rina, student of East West University. Next, Miss Shannon Dashin. And next, Miss Shannon Dashin. Thank you so much.
Now, the recitation from Holy Books. First of all, Maulana Muhammad Ashrafuzzaman, Imam of bpatc Moscow, is requested to recite sacred words from the Holy Quran.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم كلا إن الإنسان Nay, very man does transgress all bounds because he considers himself as self-sufficient. Surely to your Lord is the return.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. সমস্ত যোগের পরিপক্ক ফল ভগবত ভক্তি অনুশীলনের মাধ্যমে যিনি সেই জ্ঞান আয়ত্ত করেন তিনি কালক্রমে আত্মায় পরাশান্তি লাভ করেন।
Greetings to all in the name of Lord Jesus Christ, who is the source of all knowledge and wisdom. I'm standing in front of you to read a few words from Holy Bible. Be wise and learn good sense. Remember my teaching and all what I say. If you love wisdom and don't reject her, she will watch over you. The best thing about wisdom is wisdom herself. Good sense is more important than anything else. If you value wisdom and hold tightly to her, Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Bangladesh Public Administration Training Center. At the outset, let me take the opportunity to put on records and register my humble gratitude and thanks to today's Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. A.V. Mannan, Member of the Parliament and Honorable Minister, for kindly joining us in this conference despite his very busy schedule. Sir, your magnanimous presence has magnified the glory of this conference and also ignited us immensely. Let me also take the privilege to express my profound regards and thanks to esteemed inaugural keynote speaker, Dr. Muhammad Farashuddin Sir, and distinguished special guest, Professor Dr. Fakrul Alam, for their kind presence. Distinguished audience, you all know that information and knowledge management are two important issues of today's world. Countries who are more powerful, they possess more information and scientific knowledge resources and also adaptability power as well. At this moment, we have to invest our own resources for attaining Sustainable Development Goals 2030. Therefore, the theme of this international conference has been perfectly coined as Next Generation Information and Knowledge Dissemination to realize the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development. Information and knowledge dissemination to realize the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development. Information and knowledge dissemination is crucial, competitive base for the next generation as they promote problem solving process and thinking skills. For the proper dissemination of knowledge and information, we need knowledge network and appropriate knowledge brokers. I believe this information and international conference on i-IKM will serve as an intermediary that can facilitate collaborations between researchers and knowledge users. Initiatives like this can connect researchers and knowledge users who might not otherwise have an opportunity to interact, enable dialogue, stimulate learning, and capture and disseminate knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, with the excellent track record of the implementing of Millennium Development Goals 2015, Bangladesh government under the dynamic leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina envisions implementing Sustainable Development Goals, and for that matter, many pragmatic initiatives and strategies have already been taken from multiple fronts. Honorable Prime Minister's Office and General Economic Division of the Planning Ministry has been steering and taking pioneering role in this respect. Distinguished audience, union of any kind leaves memories so unique and untainted that keep us reminiscing for a long time. This congregation of about 400 scholars, experts and participants from home and abroad, and especially 110 paper presenters, 20 poster presentations, and 26 lightning talks has created an ambience of information, knowledge, and wisdom hub at bpatc. I wish we all will be highly benefited from this platform. Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon wouldn't be so colorful and vibrant without the shining presence of our valued guests from abroad. I put on records and registered my heartfelt congratulations and thanks for taking pains to coming to Bangladesh. And also I wish you a happy stay in Bangladesh. Distinguished audience, at this stage, let me express my heartfelt thanks to my teammates of convening committee and all other committees, faculty, staff of bpatc and East West University for their wholehearted efforts in arranging this conference. At this moment, I like to express my profound gratitude and regards to the Rector of bpatc for his able leadership right from the pinnacle and for his distilled thoughts, continuous and relentless guidance for arranging this international conference.
Bangladesh Public Administration Training Center, commonly known as bpatc, is an apex training institute of the country. This is basically a training institute for the Bangladesh civil servants. The civil servants of 28 cadres and officials of Bangladesh judicial service. Independent nation with its flag hoisted up in the sky and a distinct national identity. These were the long cherished aspiration and dreams of the Bengal nation, a legendary protagonist in the history, the great leader of the soil, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, to salvage and defend existence of Bengal nation.
University is the first to open this program. At present, the department has more than 200 students in 10 batches.
এগুলো তারা মহা উৎসাহে উদযাপন করে, আমরা সবাই যাই আনন্দিত হয়ে বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ের নতুন রূপ নিয়ে থাকে।
Of the inaugural ceremony, Mr. M.A. Mangan MP, Honorable Minister, Minister of Planning, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Honorable inaugural keynote speaker, Dr. Mohammad Farishuddin, Chief Advisor and Founder Vice Chancellor of the East West University. Special guest, Professor Dr. Fakrul Alam, Pro-Vice Chancellor of the East-West University, Honorable Program Chair, Dr. M. Aslam Alo, Rector and Senior Secretary to the Government of Bangladesh. Keynote speakers, invited speakers, national and international speakers, media officials, dignitaries, international participants, and other guests. Assalamu alaikum and greetings from i-IKM 2019. As the chair of the conference, I am again welcome you all, the first international conference on information and knowledge management. In September 2015, the member states of the United Nations General Assembly endorsed the Agenda 2030 for the Sustainable Development and its 17 development goals. This is basically visionary agenda to addressing the problem facing the global community and including poverty, gender inequality, and climate change. Now, the society is entering into an era where the future essentially will be shaped and determined by the people's ability to wisely use information and knowledge, a precious global resources that is in the incorporation of human intellectual capital and the technology. Are obliged to focus on maintaining and enhancing their knowledge capital in order to innovate their knowledge and their ability to learn, adapt, change, become a core competency for survival. Information and knowledge are essential resources, and these resources are indispensable prerequisite for the development of knowledge societies and all over the world. In order to meet these sustainable development goals and to master the challenges of the future, it needs a culture of information and knowledge dissemination among different stakeholders worldwide, and also proper management of these ever-expanding information and knowledges. Envisioning this, the Apex Public Sector Training Institute in Bangladesh, bpatc and the Department of Information Studies and Library Management, East-West University have jointly organized this conference, which is one of the first of its kind in Bangladesh. The theme of the conference is Next Generation Information and Knowledge Dissemination to realize the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development. The theme focuses on the importance of information and knowledge dissemination to make everyone aware about SDGs and also their respective roles to attaining those goals. The theme also concentrates on the role of different information institutions and government sectors in achieving the SDGs. The theme of the conference is basically focused to determine the significance of knowledge management strategy to accumulate, store, manage and disseminate the intellectual output of the knowledge society to attain the sustainable development goals. Inclusive knowledge society, transparent knowledge ecosystem and dynamic knowledge markets can play a vital role in achieving the Agenda 2030. The conference would provide a platform for the knowledge managers, policy makers, academicians and think tanks of the civil society to unite to share their expertise and innovative ideas to speed up the development process. It is inevitable that applied knowledge management is fundamental to address the complex problem facing the global community today. We firmly believe that this conference will act as a forum for scholars, educators, police professionals, government employees and other officials from different regions and disseminating new approaches to advance the discipline of information and knowledge management, and will create a forum which will contribute in raising issues and challenges associated with SDGs and innovative strategies for meeting the SDGs. The ideas and the thoughts of this conference will also explore how information and knowledge dissemination can combine to achieve SDGs. This will also promote the SDGs and SDG-related research. The conference, the professionals can play, especially the information professionals can play a vital role in differentiating between the fake and authentic information. They can also promote awareness on SDGs and make people engage with the theme. The conference also intends to identify the role of information and knowledge dissemination to strengthen the capacities of public institutions to achieve SDGs. The conference theme has been divided among 3 sub-themes, which are information and knowledge science, information knowledge dissemination to strengthening capacities to public institutions to achieve SDGs, and information and knowledge management in relation to SDGs. These sub-themes are subdivided into specific topics to address the micro-issues related to these topics, especially knowledge and management. At this conference, there will be 16 sessions in total focusing on different issues. Distinguished faculty members, information professionals, government officials, different stakeholders associated with this will present their ideas and thoughts on those topics. We hope that it is going to be an excellent exchange of knowledge and best practice. At the end of my speech, I would like to mention the name of our Honorable Chief Advisor and Founder, Vice Chancellor, Dr. Muhammad Farashuddin of East West University, and Honorable Conference Advisor, Dr. M. Aslam for their never-ending supervision and guidance and overall support, which enlarged and enlightened the scope of this conference. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Happy stay in Bangladesh.
Thank you very much.
Rector of Bangladesh Public Administration Training Center and Senior Secretary to the Government, Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. M. A. Mannan, Ministry of Planning, the Government of People's Republic of Bangladesh, distinguished inaugural keynote speaker, Dr. Muhammad Farashuddin, former Governor of Bangladesh Bank, Professor Dr. Fakhrul Alam, Pro-Vice Chancellor of East West University, and a special guest of today's inaugural ceremony. Distinguished scholars from home and abroad, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and assalamu alaikum. It's my privilege to forward the rest part of the scope note of the first international conference on information and knowledge management. Distinguished presence, the civil service all over the world as a vital state institution traditionally plays critical role in implementing and monitoring public policies of the respective countries. Accountable and transparent institution presupposes a contingent of capable and competent talent pool with critical and core competency to manage the forthcoming challenges of implementing Agenda 2030. It is assumed that the regular HRD initiative of training and development institution of public sectors are not sufficient to manage the talent loops and developing dedicated leaders for the critical mass for implementing the trajectory of sustainable development goals. Distinguished participants, it is justified to mention here that the most visible challenges for the implementing SDG is capacity, both individual and institutional. In both level of capacity, the managing and interpreting information is critical one. I like to mention again, managing and interpreting information is critical one. In terms of setting targets, the baseline data and information is critical. Moreover, metadata and information is one of the important instruments of monitoring and evaluation of SDG implementation. On the other hand, capacity of institution it also depends on how far they are effective in managing knowledge resources and critical information. The civil service as a whole
the civil service as a whole and the training institution, research organizations, universities specifically, can play a vital role in developing information and knowledge repository for formulating implementation strategies for the SDG Agenda 2030. The scholastic exercises and colloquiums that will be held here for last 2 days would help the policy planners and researchers of the field to obtain a future direction and guidelines for building individual as well as institutional capacity for implementing Agenda 2030. Learned scholars, considering the demand of the time, both the organization agreed to select the conference theme as Next Generation Information and Knowledge Dissemination to realize the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development. And the sub-themes included intellectual property rights, capacity building strategy for SDG, learning and development organization, knowledge management, R&D capacity for innovation, institutional mechanism for public service, innovation management, transformational leadership as a in a complex environment, artificial intelligence and SDGs, value co-creation and SDGs, service innovation and sustainable development. Those sub-themes are wisely devised for the colloquium. I also convinced that the papers and research reports to be presented here will be an authentic source of formulating strategies for implementing Agenda 2030. bpatc and East West University can also form a joint knowledge repository for obtaining and disseminating relevant knowledge resources and information for better future. So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot to all.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Our Chief Guest, Mr. M. Mandan, Honorable Minister of Planning, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Dr. Muhammad Farashuddin, our Chief Advisor and Founder Vice Chancellor of East West University, Dr. M. Aslam Alam, Rector of the Bangladesh Public Administration Training Center, Mr. Syed Mizanur Rahman, our Conference Chair, Mr. Sanwar Jahan Bhuiya, and Dr. Dilara Begum, the Conference Chairs, distinguished participants from abroad, quite a few countries, and from home, dear colleagues and students and guests. It's such a privilege and honor to be here, to be addressing this first, the opening ceremony of this first international conference on information and knowledge management, next generation information and knowledge dissemination. This is such a brave new world, the world that we have been in since the wide world of information that has been open to us, the information revolution that is being talked about. This world of cloud computing, this world of big data, this world of new media, they invite us to get into new frontiers all the time. I think it is important and wonderful that we have such a conference to discuss and debate all of these issues from the point of view of information and knowledge management. It's also wonderful to have so many people, 400 participants, 30 invited speakers from 26 countries. I'm not too sure why I'm here, but I think one of the reasons must be Dilara must be thanking me for working with the abstracts. And when the abstracts came in, I was overwhelmed by the number, first of all, but also by the quality of the abstracts and the diversity, the great range. It was really, truly enlightening for me to just read the abstracts and to realize the diversity that was here, the great variety that we have in everywhere. But you know, knowledge comes and wisdom lingers. We have this whole wide world of knowledge. Now we have to use them properly. So this conference is, I'm sure, one of the ways that this is going to happen. we are going to move from just mere knowledge to the accumulation of wisdom. I hope this conference will be able to contribute in the process in all sorts of ways. I am very lucky to have studied in a number of great libraries in the world. One of them is the University of British Columbia, and to my great delight, we have two people from the University of British Columbia. I spent 6 lovely years in the library. I spent 4 years studying in the University of British Columbia and 2 years in Simon Fraser University. But even when I was in Simon Fraser University, I was using the University of British Columbia library. It's a wonderful resource. And then I spent a month working in the British Library much later. I worked in other great libraries. And now it's wonderful to have the beginnings of a good library in East West University, and with very capable people looking after the library in every way. Excuse me, it's also great to have the data, the information, and everything on the wide world of where everything being accessed, this great source of information, this countless journals that we can access. But like I said, knowledge comes and wisdom lingers. I think the real challenge is to make students use this, to make faculty members use them. You might have the whole world at your fingertips, but you have to do something with it. And I think from some of the abstracts, I know that not enough is being done. Even with what we have, I think 1 or 2 of the studies of East West University users have shown clearly that this is not being used in a way which is exhaustive, which is important. So I hope that the conference will, in its deliberations, come up with suggestions, and will also lead to all kinds of improvements and applications which are practical. There are also some other issues, for example, acknowledging sources, plagiarism. Now that the whole world is accessible, the real, I think, the temptation is to use these sources without acknowledgement. So the question of ethics come up, and I hope the question of ethics will also be debated in these conferences. So there are all sorts of things that we can do, discuss, debate, deliberate on, all kinds of new perspectives that we must adopt. Hopefully this conference is going to do that. I want to conclude by thanking the organizers. It's not in any ways easy. I think East West University has always been supportive of grand projects, and hopefully East West University is going to have a number of other grand projects following up, because I know that the university is committed to education of excellence. Thank you all very much.
The Vice Chancellor of East West University is humbly requested to disseminate his words.
Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. Namaskar. The Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. M. Mannan, who has been introduced as a minister, which he is, but to me, he is more of a local level planner and rural development. Believe me, he is a household name. He has spent a lot of time in this, and he is remembered for his role by standing side by side with the unprivileged and the underprivileged. Special guest, Professor Fakhrul Alam, of whom I am an admirer all the time, and the more I hear, the more I admire. The redoubtable proctor, rector, senior secretary, Dr. Aslam Alam. He has actually galvanized bpatc in the last 2 years, which was established in 1984, but is the most lively in the last 4 or 5 years that he has been here. Mr. Savar Dr. Vidala Begum, and the conference chair, Sir Mizanur Rahman, very distinguished paper presenters, discussants and participants numbering 400 from 26 countries, members of the media. I can see some distinguished members in the audience, including Vice Chancellors of public universities and the faculty members of bpatc and of East-West University. I can assure you, because the commerce year on East-West University, me in particular, has been longer than I thought it should be. I will make my speech shorter to make up for the time. It's a prepared speech. Subject is very difficult, so I had to prepare a speech. I must say it's very timely. The world is now trying to gather more and more knowledge. In fact, World Bank has been pleading for a few years for knowledge-based societies. And there is a proposition now that the more tertiary education a country has, including technological education, the more formidable is its journey towards socio-economic development. But let me also remind the distinguished audience of a Bengali proverb, very well known, which roughly translates as follows: knowledge is the most precious of things which cannot be snatched away, and which the more you disseminate, the more is its size and amount and strength. We very often hear that knowledge is power, but seldom remember that information is the source of knowledge. The main objectives of tertiary education as dedicated to knowledge creation, knowledge transformation, and knowledge dissemination. An American president has said, and I quote, "Information is the oxygen of the modern age. It sifts through the walls, topped by barbed wire. It wafts across the electrified borders," unquote. This statement is short in size, but very potent and significant in its implication for the modern society. The society today is called the information society. Information is considered as a focal point of many activities. In this modern era, a huge quantity of information content is produced every now and then. Almost everyone is contributing, participating, and benefiting in one way or the other. Information is so directly involved with the economic activities that it assumes the significance of a factor of production. We know 4 factors of production, along with the new ones called leadership and technology. A gutsy, innovative, pro-people leadership is at the core of the governing achievement of Bangladesh these days. A new dimension of the economics discipline has already evolved as the information industry. This industry is considered as a powerful and rapidly growing sector of the economy. Information industry is divided into information content industry, information delivery industry, and information processing industry. Information delivery industry is basically transforming the created intellectual contents to its end user with the help of modern telecommunication and networking apparatus. Information processing industry is facilitating the packaging of information with hardware as well as software into an attractive, usable form. In the information industry, the libraries and other information distributing institutions are also playing a substantial role in creation of intellectual content, its processing and dissemination. These components together make a robust impact in the socio-economic advancement in a country. At the same time, information industries are also adept in generating forces for innovation and productivity enhancement of other linked industries as well. Perfect information is an essential ingredient for perfect mobility, which strengthens perfect competition. Thus, information technology is at the core of information industry in promoting efficiency through perfect competition, productivity enhancement, and maximization of creation of wealth. In the much acclaimed home and abroad rapid economic growth trajectory of Bangladesh, the government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh is also closely working for the development of the information industry. Within an integrated framework, several publicly financed projects are being executed to promote and facilitate enrichment of the information industry. The concept of creating a digital Bangladesh, as enunciated in 2008, is a clear and determined resolve to take full advantage of the power of information technology. 12 high-tech parks and other projects are being created and implemented to generate ICT services worth 10 billion by the year 2030. As we know, as has been referred, Millennium Development Goal has been a spectacular success in Bangladesh, implementing most of the goals ahead of the target time. So does the promise on the SDGs. The concept of information industry has also a close link up with the Sustainable Development Goals, which exhorts, and I quote, "Leave no one behind." To me, this is the most important message of SDG. And to me as a teacher, sustainable development is one when the prosperity of present generation does not overload or neglect the prosperity of the future generation. Or in other words, the resource allocation to sustainable development is done in such a manner that resources are conserved for future, they are created anew, and there is renewable energy, so that posterity is at least as good as us, if not better. In this regard, identification of authentic information, managing and exploding information, processing and potential information bugs are some of the bigger challenges that should be addressed. Otherwise, the ever-expanding information industry may experience a fatal hiccup. The proper orientation and supervision of the information industry can bring massive transformation in the society. We live in a world of digital divide, as well as the rich versus poor tragedy. As we meet here at the Bangladesh Public Administration Training Complex, bpatc, the world is witnessing so many human sufferings in the forceful expulsion. I'm giving some example. Forceful expulsion of its citizens, called Rohingya citizens, by a tyrant Myanmar. Terrible pains of millions of displaced people in Africa and the Middle East. Mindless killing by the IS fundamentalists, the untold deprivation of the Palestinian people in what has been historically their own homeland, the ridiculous triumph of the heinous forces of communalism, the specter of a war between two nuclear neighbors, Pakistan and India, both being dangerously outside the sobering framework of the Non-Proliferation Treaty, and the most cruel attack in the Sri Lanka Charge killing 350 people, and may perhaps more. In a sheer madness, ladies and gentlemen, the arms expenditure and the defense budgets of the wealthy countries are on the increase when the official development assistance, ODA, which is used for feeding the millions and the deprived, is declining. Some powerful countries, developed and developing, are plundering Mother Nature to cause havoc to the environment, jeopardizing sustainable human development. Why should a handful of people own more than half of the income, 51% of the income, wealth and opportunities of the global economy? They should apportion a tiny 0.5% of their gigantic income and wealth for providing at least the 3 basic needs: food, clothing, and shelter to the 111 million people who are languishing after abject poverty. Can we, in the information industry, package the relevant facts that I have cited and others forcefully enough and tellingly for whipping the conscience of the greedy to return to the path of sharing and caring for a better world? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
M.A. Mannan, MP, Honorable.
Good evening. Shubh Respected Chairperson, Dr. Savar, my colleague in the government for many years in the past, who is the current director of this, our National Institute for Public Administration and Training, who is also Senior Secretary of the government. Distinguished inaugural keynote speaker who just left this after speaking, Dr. Mohammad Rashuddin, who is also a senior civil servant in the past, an economist by training, and an electionist also, and was a former governor of Bangladesh Bank or Central Bank. Professor Dr. Fakhrul Alam, Pro-Vice Chancellor of East-West University, in which Dr. Faraj is the chief advisor at the moment. Distinguished scholars, participants from home and abroad, all of you here sitting in front of me. Ladies and gentlemen, for all of you, my deep regards, respect, and a very, very deep welcome to our country. Thank you very much for being here. I'm here this evening on the invitation of Dr. Alam to be among you and to learn from, to hear from you on a matter of great urgent need, not only for us, but for the world as a whole. I am not trained in this subject, so I won't pretend to speak much about it, but I've lived long enough in this world. I've had some hands-on experience of work in the field, particularly in the rural Bangladesh where I was born, where I was raised, and I try my best now to address the issues of concern to my villagers who have been my sustenance all these years. What I have learned is that there is a lot of injustice in this world, and no doubt about that. I'm absolutely convinced. I don't know what is the causes of injustice for sure. You scholars, many of you particularly, who do research, who look around, probably have answers. But the fact remains is an argument world. The fact remains, countries like ours are at the receiving end of a process which is cruel, which is unjust, and which appears to be entrenched, at least for the foreseeable future. So in that situation, what we do in countries like Bangladesh, where we make efforts to make our ends meet on a daily basis, we still have about 1 out of 5 living in utter poverty. We still have about 30% of our people
not knowing how to live right. We have still many villages, many communities we can't reach by road, by rails, by road, by water. So these are the rare facts of life in Bangladesh now. But at the same time, in the last few years, recently, we take pride when you, great scholars from home and abroad, learned people, cognizant in this area, will speak about us and say that, yeah, we are doing well. We do feel happy about it. We have achieved certain things which for our forefathers were a dream. Take electricity, for example. Today, we have home energy for at least 95% of our population. It's unbelievable. 20 years before, we didn't even think about it. And 20 million homes and solar energy connections on the rooftops, the highest in the world. I'll just give you two examples. We are taking other major steps forward too. Our present government, under our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, is bold, courageous, and very creative. She's taking risks every day. She's exhorting us to work with her to go faster, to take another step forward, and to help transform the society for a life worth for 21st century. We have many grievances. We were ill-treated, no doubt about that. We were exploited. Wealth was transferred from here for centuries. These are facts of history. But we are angry about it now. We don't feel bitter. We want to forget it. And we have to work now to build a better future. But as I said in the beginning, even this does not appear to be always very possible because of certain global geopolitical reasons. So in that light, organizations like our bpatc, East-West University, when they organize seminars of this nature, where you come from various parts of the world, to discuss a tool, a very modern tool, which can help us come out of the morass of poverty. What are those tools? Information technology, knowledge, and all these things. When we sit down here, we in government of Bangladesh, our Prime Minister in 2008 declared, a sounding declaration, we should have digital Bangladesh. Many people didn't believe that we could ever even achieve it. But now, many critical analysts in this field say, yes, we will cover a lot of ground. We will do more. And hopefully, this is within our grasp now. We need your help. We need to share experience with you in these fields. So when we gather here at this beautiful campus, when you share your ideas and experience with our people here, from them we get in the government. Like I assured you, government is a government sensitive to the changes that's happening around it. We want to learn and do. We have major goals set for our country, and we are working hard to achieve those goals. We need support from friends from all over the world. Dr. Ashton was mentioning one or two very somber issues which really has shaken the world in the last few days. And the cruel and unnecessary death in Christchurch in Colombo. These are only two incidents. There are many others like that. We have to address those. In the face of that, when you see the progress of information technology, thousands of cameras hidden here and there everywhere. Here, outside world, whether we go to western world, eastern world, northern world, when we walk, we are under watch. What do we do? As an old man, I feel, where are we going? If the big brother is finally here, do we have any privacy left? What do we do now? So this is a very serious matter. Maybe you have answers how to tackle those. I know there are benefits out of it. But my life is my life. My privacy is my empire, my castle. And these snoopy eyes around look into my life. It's a big loss, I think. But there's no way out of it also. So these are also matters I hope scholars here, participants here will discuss in the coming 2 days. And at least give some idea how we can get benefit out of it, at the same time reduce the menace, Orwellian Big Brother menace, from developing into a real engulfing menace for all of us. So that is my submission to you today. I compliment bpatc and of course East West University for organizing this seminar. I assure you all, government of Sheikh Hasina is making just investments in seeing that things change in this country. We are committed to the SDGs. Critics tell us that we have done fairly good until now. MDGs, we almost nearly 100% success we had. So, emboldened by success in MDGs, we now think that we can implement SDGs also and transform the lives of our people. We need a lot of money for that. We don't have that kind of resource in this country. But access to this kind of knowledge, access to information will help us obviate this need for access resources, which I told you we don't have this moment. We have commitments, but not actually funds being generated. It's okay. As I said earlier, we are not bitter about it. We still want to share it. Happy world with everyone, everywhere. We have never ever exploited any community. We have never ever expropriated any wealth from any community. Here, our wealth has been expropriated and transferred for centuries. We know that. So that is where we are now. We have to make do with whatever we have. You are our friends from all over the world. Please let us put our hands together and build a better world for humanity. We can. Even today will be another step towards building that great future. I thank you for inviting me here this evening, and I wish all the participants, the scholars, teachers, whoever have come, everyone to our country, and hope you keep coming again and again. Thank you very much. Good evening. Joy Bangla.
Expressing unfeigned gratitude to our honorable chief guest for his precious words.
Conveying our heartfelt thanks to our honorable chief guest.
Distinguished presence. At this stage of the program, organizing team, East West University and bpatc
Getting on side and right side for getting out on side.
First of all, Professor Kamrul Alam from Australia. Professor Kamrul Alam from Australia. Then Mr. Albert Buckhurst from South Africa. Mr. Albert Buckhurst from South Africa. After Ms. Jeru Khan from Turkey, Mr. Bablu Shutru from India. After Mr. Shadraj from India, Dr. Krista and Susan Bruce from Australia is requested to come to the stage. Dr. Krista and Susan Bruce from Australia. After Dr. Krista, Mr. Colin Noshland from Canada is requested to come to the stage. After Dr. Krista from Australia, Mr. Colin Noshland from Canada is requested to collect souvenir. After Mr. Colin Noshland, Dr. Anis Ahmed from UK is requested to collect souvenir. Dr. Anis Ahmed from UK. Mr. Colin Noshland from Canada. Then Dr. Anis Ahmed from UK. After Dr. Anis Ahmed, Dr. Jesus Law from Mexico is requested to come to the stage. Dr. Jesus Law from Mexico. Dr. Anis Ahmed from UK, then Dr. Jesus Law from Mexico. Dr. John A. Norsland from USA is requested to collect souvenir. Dr. John A. Norsland from USA. After Dr. Jesus Law from Mexico, Dr. John A. Norsland from USA. After Dr. Norsland, Ms. Elvira Lepers from Philippines. Ms. Elvira Lepers from Philippines. Then Mr. Jagtar Singh from India. After Ms. Elvira Lepers from Philippines, Mr. Jagtar Singh from India. After Mr. Singh, Ms. Jo Anna Osland from UK is requested to collect souvenir. Ms. Jo Anna Osland from UK. Then Ms. Jo Anna Osland from UK.
Ms. Labiba Jain from Indonesia. Ms. Labiba Jain from Indonesia. Ms. Lina Haturi from Finland. Ms. Lina Haturi from Finland. Mr. Partha Pratim Das from India. Mr. Partha Pratim Das from India. Then Mr. Ravina. Mr. Shantanu Ganguly from India. After Nazareth, Mr. Shantanu Ganguly from India. Then Professor Yuji Koda from Japan. Professor Yuji Koda from Japan. After him, Dr. Devil C. Kaur from India. Dr. Devil C. Ms. Paula Skent from New Zealand. And the last, not for the least, Mr. Pavitra Madhavanti from Sri Lanka. After Paula, Mr. Pavitra Madhavanti from Sri Lanka. I apologize, Ms. Pavitra Madhavanti. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's all from our list. Director to chief guest. And now, souvenir and crest and gancha for our keynote speaker. Then souvenir and crest and gamcha for the special guests of this event. Souvenir, crest and gamcha for special guests. Finally, Chair of the organizing committee would hand over the souvenir to the chairperson of the ceremony. To the chairperson of this event. This is a wonderful event for bpatc and as well as East West University. Thank you very much.
Planning, Mr. M.A. Mannan MP, distinguished inaugural keynote speaker, Dr. Mohammad Farashuddin, distinguished special guest, Pro Vice Chancellor, East West University, Dr. Fakhrul Alam, distinguished Chair of the Organizing Committee, Syed Mizanur Rahman, NDS, bpatc, Conference Chairs, Dr. Sanwar Jahan Bhuya, Director bpatc, and Dr. Dilara Begum, East West University, distinguished scholars and professionals from all over the world and from all parts of Bangladesh, distinguished faculty members of bpatc and East West University, distinguished invited guests, dear foundation training course participants and students from various universities, including East West University, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to all of you. It's indeed a great honor and privilege for me to welcome you here at bpatc and also for foreign guests in Bangladesh. A very hearty welcome to you. Our Honorable Prime Minister has set goals for Bangladesh and she has termed it as National Dream Trajectory. It goes up to year 2100. We call it a resilient Bangladesh to be implemented through Delta Plan, which has been devised under the leadership of our Honorable Planning Minister, Ministry of Planning. So, resilient Bangladesh by 2100 and a happy and prosperous Bangladesh by 2041. By 2041, we call it Vision 2041. And in the meanwhile, Agenda 2030. to take Bangladesh up to 2041. And our immediate target is, according to our national dream trajectory, is Vision 2021, which we have almost achieved, making Bangladesh a middle income country according to World Bank classification and developing country by UN classification, and we are almost there. Now our next target is Agenda 2030, or what popularly known as Sustainable Development Goals. You know that it's a universal set of goals and targets agreed by 194 UN member states to guide their development policies and initiatives until 2030. The SDGs apply equally to developed and developing countries, and the framework of targets and indicators provide the basis for stimulating initiative, monitoring performance, and delivering compliance. The 2030 Agenda focuses on the elimination of hunger and reduction of poverty and inequality in all their forms. It is associated with a financing framework that recognizes the need not just for innovation and business development, but also social protection. It commits to support the Paris Agreement on climate change by promoting and facilitating energy efficiency and clean energy. It seeks to increase resilience to climate change, weather and natural disaster, market volatility and political instability. And it seeks to reduce the pressure on human economic activity on the natural environment by stressing the need not just for habitat and ecosystem protection, but also increased resource use of efficiency and sustainable production and consumption, thereby spreading responsibility for delivering sustainability across all economic players. Implementing the SDGs also requires that we address several outstanding conceptual and practical challenges, including how to deal with trade-offs between different sustainable development objectives, the nature of environmental capacity or limits to growth, integration and complexity, environmental assessment and precaution, adaptive planning and management system, human and labor rights, capacity development of institutions and stakeholder participation and empowerment. As Bangladesh government is committed to achieve SDGs by 2030, on the basis of success of achieving MDGs, here at bpatc, we have already integrated or mainstreamed SDGs in all our core activities. We have adopted our theme of building effective, inclusive and accountable public administration system based on SDG target 16.6. And we have included SDG in our all of our core courses. All of our courses have got one module on, at least one module on sustainable development goals. By the way, we are a quasi-academic organization. We do not offer any degrees. We conduct executive education courses for public servants in Bangladesh, mostly civil servants. Newly entrants to the senior most, secretaries to the government. Foundation training for newly entered civil servants to secretaries and senior secretaries to the government through policy dialogue. We are also entrusted with research and advisory services to the government. And we organize conferences, symposium, workshop, etc. on a regular basis. But for the first time, we are doing it in partnership with a private organization. It's a learning for us. East West University is a private university, and we offer courses on, lessons on public-private partnership, opportunities and challenges. Our colleagues here at bpatc now has got some first-hand experience on public-private partnerships, opportunities and challenges. We have learned a few lessons. Anyway, it has been a win-win situation with our logistics and financial support. East West University colleagues have been able to bring you all together here at bpatc in Savar. You see, why we have decided on this topic of information and knowledge management? Because we are studying development, and when we look at the stages of development of various countries, we see that developed countries or countries which are ahead of us in terms of development, they are developed in all sense, including information and knowledge management. And information and knowledge management is a neglected area in government offices. I have been chief executive of various organizations for the last 10 years, and every organization has got a library. And that, unfortunately, those libraries do not only possess, contain books, but also all sorts of junks of the organization, including broken computers and furnitures. That's the state of libraries in most of our, public organizations. Now, we have seen in many countries across the world that every government organization has got a very rich library, and we realize more than ever that information and knowledge management is absolutely essential to achieve SDGs. We have taken up a big research project on SDG. We are studying 59 ministries, divisions and national organizations, how they are doing on achieving SDGs. And this research is at a still at an early age, but what we already learned that everywhere there's a shortage of data, information and knowledge. Every organization. And the knowledge process of acquisition, evaluation, storage and retrieval, utilization and creation, application and management is absolutely essential for policy making, for implementation of policies, for taking up projects and programs, for evaluating projects and programs and policies. So everywhere, information and knowledge management's role is very, very critical. That's why we have taken up this issue on information and knowledge management to achieve Agenda 2030 for sustainable development. And I'm very much thankful to all of you, particularly our overseas guests, for your kind presence here in Bangladesh, here at bpatc. We look forward to learning from you, and we look forward to a better or informed policy making here in Bangladesh. I believe our policymakers, like our Honorable Planning Minister and his team at Ministry of Planning and all other ministries, will be greatly benefited from this exercise. And we will disseminate the outcome of this international conference widely across the government. And with this, if we can contribute whatever towards the achievement of SDGs in Bangladesh, that will be a great success in our consideration. We are very much thankful to our Honorable Chief Guest. He has been my boss for a long time, since he was a career bureaucrat in his first career. And I worked under his leadership in Chattogram long years back, while he was Deputy Commissioner of Chattogram. Again, I had the opportunity to work under him the Ministry of Finance, where I was the secretary and he was the state minister. Sir, we are very much delighted and very much encouraged by your presence here and your very thoughtful remarks that will guide us in future. He's truly a people's representative. While he was a bureaucrat, even at that time, he was a people's representative rather than a government representative. And still he has not changed. He has become more pro-people and pro-poor. And under his able leadership, we look forward to achieving SDGs in Bangladesh in a much quicker time than it is envisaged. We are also very much grateful to our inaugural keynote speaker Dr. Mohammad Farashuddin. He has been a regular visiting faculty here. Whenever we call him, he always comes here, and we always learn from him. And I have heard him many times, but every time I believe I learn new things, including today. And we look forward to learning and encouragement from him in future as well. Thank you, sir. I'm thankful to our special guest, Dr. Fakhrul Alam. He has taken a big pain in going through the proceedings. I've learned from our colleagues that he has almost literally gone through every sentences in this book within a very short time. We were overwhelmed by number of abstracts we have received. Our reviewers have done a great job, and out of 182 abstracts, we have been able to take up only 110, and rest could not be accepted because of shortage of time and spaces. We are overwhelmed by interest generated by this conference and by your presence here. I hope you will enjoy your stay at bpatc in Savar and later in Dhaka. And coming 2 days will be very fruitful, and we will definitely learn from each other. We extend all cooperation to you, particularly our overseas guests. If you find any difficulties, please don't feel shy to tell us, any of our colleagues, and we'll be very much happy to serve you. With these few words, I thank you again, my conference chair, Dr. Dilara and Dr. Sanwar, for your wonderful work by organizing this event and making everything all together by Mr. Syed Mizanur Rahman. So thank you all to all people involved in organizing this very significant international conference. I conclude here. Thank you very much. Khuda Hafiz. Long live Bangladesh.
Thank you so much for your invaluable speech, painting the intricate issues of this conference.
The rainy season traditionally
the dark clouds in a gray sky, characteristics of the rainy season, are replaced by white floating in a blue sky. During autumn, a large number of fragrant flowers bloom. This is also the time when the palmier arrival. Kartik and Agrahan are the months of late autumn. It is the season of dews. Dews fall on the blades of grass and look like pearls in the morning sun.
It presents a very heart-touching and eye-catching sight.
With fog and cold, it is the coldest season of the year. Many animals shiver with cold. Old people and children in the rural areas are found sitting round fire to make themselves warm. The sun is then mild and pleasant. We get a better supply of a great variety of fish and vegetables in this season. People enjoy cakes, fruits and date juice. It is the season of pleasant weather, festivals, marriages, games and sports.
pomp and splendor. It is the loveliest of all seasons. The cold of winter is over. Days are warm, lifeless trees put on new leaves, flower bloom. It comes with its message of joy and merriment. Trees put forth new leaves and flower blooms in garden. A gentle breeze blows, bees hum, and the cuckoo and other birds sing sweet songs in joy. There is joy everywhere. This is our country, Bangladesh. Like the 6 seasons, our life and our culture is simple, colorful and vivid, and our identity lies in our culture. We are proud of our language and culture. Attracted with the beauties and bounties of Bangladesh, different countries came over the centuries to colonize us, taking the opportunity of our simplicity and snatched away our resources. After the colonization of British came Pakistan. They did not only take away our assets.
They even tried to take away our right to speak in Bangla, our mother tongue. Then the flame of protest spread through the whole country. It was 21st February 1952. The position held. The Pakistani military shot us. Our brothers sacrificed their lives and became martyrs. Our mother tongue was protected. We established our martyr monument, Shohid Minar.
Ora
audience for your precious presence here.
I was thinking of the SDGs. There are 17 SDGs, but there is nothing about culture. So the intercultural dialogue is very important. And you have seen the flow of energy, the channelization of this energy. I feel as if I am enjoying this program at my own home. So I'm sure that the energy will be put in the right direction. And during the next 2 days, we are going to discuss the interplay of information, knowledge, wisdom, and development. We can call it sustainable development, but growth is automatical and development is man-made. I have seen, this is one of the 5 top conferences I have seen in my life. I have visited 25 countries of the world, and we are deeply grateful to bpatc, East West University and Government of Bangladesh for providing us this platform to discuss and share our experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jagdise, for your sweet words. Distinguished presence, now you are invited for dinner. Thank you so much.